Stay on market. Who's to blame for the high house prices and what you get for $1 million in Santa Clara County? Let's get moving. We also have inventory watch. How long should a house stay on market? That's like the preeminent question, right? In my mind, I want to make sure that I deliver a great sales experience for my homeowner, for my home seller. It really depends on what strategy we're going with and how to maximize and get the most money in the best terms out of the sale. I use a negotiating pit bull style process to make sure that we're successful all the way through. And when a seller fights me, then we have problems with that. But it really means that you should learn more about the days on market metric. And it's important for you to know this because when you think about it, a house that's brand new on the market, so does everybody else. They want to look at the house and make sure, hey, is this one of the potential places I could live? Is this a good house? Is this a good area? Is this a good neighborhood? So what you don't want to do is see houses that are on market for far too long. What happens is after a certain point, your house becomes stale. Your listing becomes stale, meaning the buyers in that pool have already seen your house either online, in person, or what have you. They've been told about it and they're like, nope, it's overpriced for the condition. It's very smart to understand who you're competing against and what buyers are typically looking at. When a buyer is looking at your house, whether it's 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom or however big it is, they're looking at the past 90 days as far as comparables so they can adjust what their offer price strategy would be. And some people are like, I'm just going to go low. I'm going to go $100,000 low no matter what. Or I'm going to go at market price or list price, or I'm going to go 5% over. What I teach my agents is you have to take all those houses that have been sold and that are in market and kind of create a straight line graph of where the price should land. If the median days on market is 5 days on market or 10 days on market or 100 days on market, 15 days after that is too long. And that means that there's something wrong with the condition, the marketing strategy, which is pricing, or the location, right? It's important to be on the side of the real estate agent that you hire, because if you're fighting them, it's not a good match. It's not a good fit for you. And what you want to do is have somebody that works with you, not against you. Should you relist? Yes, but there's a strategy behind that too. And in our area, if you sell a house and it's listed for over X amount of days and you want to pull it off market, you can't just take it off market and put it back on market, because they have something that we track called combined days on market, which still hurts you. What you have to do, the rule of thumb for our MLS is 30 days off market to reset that days on market counter. Smart agents will always look at the history of your house and see that you had it listed before. So our strategy when we come in is we want to make sure that we're presenting your house in the best effort so that when that big mix of buyers comes through in the first couple days, that pool, that demographic of who is buying your house, they're going, I need to put an offer on this house, right? So we list it just below where we think it should be sold, maybe 5 or 10% below. And then we get offers right away. And when we have more than 2 offers, we get to leverage them back and forth. And I typically like to see anywhere from 5 to 15 offers. And then I can leverage them. And that's how I make sure that I get the most for my sellers. Now, let's just take a look at this house. I just did this yesterday or the day before. This is, let's just call this 1,800 square feet. I think this really is like 2,000 square feet, but the average square foot was 1,800 right here. This house right here is 2,000, I think it's 2,050. So we went and looked at 4 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I went 10% variance on the square footage. And that kind of gives me a really close look at what is being sold out there compared to that subject property. And then I go out a mile radius. So we see that there's one house for sale. It's 1,800 square feet, sold for 1.7 million. It's been on market 9 days, because remember I did this 2 days ago. Pending, there's Brenda Lee, Sorrel, and Madison, which are all a little bit further, and we look at that. So we're looking at 16, 8, and 20 days on market, and they're listed pretty low. And I can guarantee you that this one right here on Sorrel, for being 2136, I bet you this one's going to come in close to $2 million, unless it's a total beater. And we'll go take a look at that in a second. So then we go down to see all the solds in the past 90 days. Now, 6, 9, again, remember, we're in our market right now today there's very low inventory. We have 150 single family homes for sale in San Jose. And we're seeing every house get multiple bids or bid up, as long as it's listed correctly, right? So this one on Curry Drive, and I'll tell you why Curry Drive should sell a little bit lower than anything else, because it's a filter street. Curry has a lot more traffic, so your house won't sell for as much. Buyers will tend to buy something within the neighborhood versus a filter street. A filter street is where you go from an artery to the house. There's a street like Curry or Bernal. Those are filter streets, and we do have houses on that. So they tend to take a little bit longer to sell, and you won't get as much resale value out of it compared to everything else. So when we look at it, we want to say, I think your house is worth X. 5. This person right here wants to sell at 2 million. So I've been watching it for them, and it sold for 120% over original list price. So let's see where that one was that sold. It sold right at 100%, and it took 0 days. I don't like selling things off market. That's how you look at how long a house should be on market. Now, what's the average? 22 days is the max. 8 is the average. Looking at this comp right now, knowing that we're heating up the market, I would say we'd stay at 8 to 10 days. If it's over 20 days, we'd have that conversation about lowering a price. I tend to make sure that we keep your sales transaction as smooth as possible. So how long should your house stay on the market? It really depends on your area and what the comps say. All right. Blame for high home prices. Take 2. Blame for high home prices. Fed Chair says there hasn't been enough housing built. This has been a problem since the 90s. We stopped building houses. And I'm not saying Santa Clara County, where I'm talking the United States all over. We have so much land, we're just not building as many homes as we can. And when the market slowed down a couple of years ago, home sellers, the home builders, needed to get out and send their money back to the investors. So a lot of the industrial investors bought these swaths of land. So it kept renters renting, it kept buyers from buying, kept move up buyers from selling their house and moving to another house, because they just didn't have anywhere to go. That's why we have such a low inventory. And our population is continuing to grow, right? So yes, that is part of the problem. One part of the problem is that we're not building enough homes. What we need to do is start building smaller properties. There's a lot of people that still want to buy big houses, but we still need to buy first-time home buyer or build first-time home buyer homes and not allow industrial investors to buy those, because that's keeping people from getting to the next level of their wealth creation, which is living conservatively below their means. They own a house that they can take care of and pay down the mortgage and have an asset to rely on in their older years. Industrial investors are demanding they buy more and more houses. So that's got to stop. And I know that we're putting a stop to that. What you get for $1 million in Santa Clara County. This one is on Blossom Avenue. Remember, we were talking about filter streets. Blossom Avenue is a major artery. It's not 280 or 87. It's an artery to get off the freeway to the neighborhood, right? So if you look at it, this is a major artery. This right here, that's a filter street. Lake Caudle is an artery. It flows into this. So think of this, your little neighborhood is capillary. You're out there and you have a busy street, and you know it because you have double double yellow lines, you know that's a busy street. Those houses will tend to sell for less than houses within the neighborhood. If it's outside the neighborhood, I sold a house right here last year. These sell really fast and well. These ones you have to be careful about, right? Because they're very busy streets. You have a lot of traffic. And if you have children or dogs or pets, that's one thing that you have to worry about. So this house, brand new on market, I think it's listed right at $1 million. I think you're going to see it sell for about 1.1 to 1.15. If you want to take a look this weekend, it's open. And again, we're really hurting on inventory. I think we'll see this start to pop up. I'll put a bet out there that by the end of February, we're going to see this up to 300, but we needed to be about 800 or 900 to make it a nice, healthy market. All the cities that are adjoining San Jose within Santa Clara County, they are all very low in inventory. You can see because these are the averages. These are the averages over the last couple of years. I'll change that once we get to June, so it's just this year. But I just like to have that as a guide as to where we should be. So Palo Alto had an average of 40 houses for sale. We're half of that. Los Altos, we're down. Milpitas, we're down. Morgan Hill is down. San Martin is up, but San Martin is so small. Usually we have 47 homes for sale in Gilroy. Florida has always been different, inverse of the market, right? So Cape Coral, we have 7,000 homes for sale. That's because snowbirds come down and start buying houses. But I think people are worried because we've had so many storms and hurricanes hit that area that they're just absolutely not willing to buy houses there anymore because that and damage and insurance costs have gone crazy high. So that is it. Today we talked about how long should a house stay on market? Who's to blame for the home prices? It's not just home builders. There's a lot of factors into that and what you get for $1 million and inventory snapshot. I'm Vito with Avatar.